Welcome back, growers. It's Thursday, right? Yeah, May 8th, and we're here to learn as we grow. Today's conversation is all about gardening with autism, ADHD, depression. This was something that was suggested when we did our live stream research topic, whatever day that was, the most recent one. This was an audience suggestion, and it's something that I've talked about with other people. I don't have direct experience, I don't think. We don't have any diagnoses in my house. So I did a lot of research and I was a little bit bummed that there weren't a lot of pictures for backyard setups. It was all like schools or public areas, like large land. So anyways, we're going to talk about styles, benefits, tips, activities, safety tips, zones in the design, tips for nonverbal children. Gardening can be incredibly therapeutic and empowering. And don't forget, the bonus tonight is the problems, the challenges, and I'm going to give you some solutions for what might happen in the garden. So thanks for watching in the replay. Part of the garden. What part of the garden do you or your loved ones enjoy the most? Is it digging, planting, watering, just sitting and relaxing? There's more answers to that. You tell me. I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. Why gardening is a powerful tool. It provides structure, sensory engagement, emotional regulation, and skill building. It helps our reward center in our brain. It is actually addicting because we have this moment where we see something to harvest, we grab it, and we get rewarded in our brain. We have a rush of dopamine. It could be the smell, it could be the touch, it could be actually eating the harvest. We want more of that, so we keep gardening, right? Having our hands in the dirt and just listening and being with our garden resets your parasympathetic nervous system. I did a whole live stream where we talked about your brain and gardening. Check that out on the replay. There are so many benefits of gardening for all people, especially if we're looking for sensory regulation, texture, smells, sounds, therapeutic for sensory seekers and avoiders. There's ways to set it up so we can help everybody. It helps with motor skills development, your fine motor, like planting the seeds, your gross motor, digging, executive functioning, improves planning, sequencing, and task follow through. We talked about in that your brain on gardening live stream where there's so much problem solving every day, all the time. There is something that comes up, right? For your mental health, reduces anxiety, provides calm routine, boosts dopamine and serotonin, connection to nature, grounding and emotionally stabilizing. It gives you success moments, right? Visual, tangible achievements. There's styles and methods that can support the neurodivergence. For ADHD specifically, you could set it up with container gardening or square foot gardening because it's a manageable, controllable space that reduces overwhelm. You could literally line it up. You could plant your stuff alphabetical if you wanted to, right? However, that works for you. In ADHD land, color coding or labeled zones can improve organization and focus. Having those fast growing plants to get something out of it, the radish, the lettuce, the herbs, encourages that immediate reward. And having a flexible structure using timers or task cards to break tasks into short chunks for ADHD. For the people with us live, we have Mushroom Mark. We have South Florida Sunshine Tropicals still here. I knew you would dig out so many details. I'm so glad you did this tonight. I'm actually, I can't believe I couldn't find more. I feel like there's a huge gap of information and pictures than there should be. There should be so much more out there for me to present to you all tonight. So hopefully we're going to look at pictures. I have a video. We're going to talk about problems that happen with an autistic child in the garden and how can we work through that, right? Why it happens. Jay Dixon, hello. Mushroom Mark says, with our personal history, this is an amazing topic. And it is a topic that came from the viewers. This was brought up as something we should talk about. So I'm going to keep going. There's a lot to cover. For autism specifically, if we're talking about sort of setting stuff up, and we're going to go deeper into these things, sensory gardens. Have you heard of them? Soft textures, calming scents like lavender, mint, visual stimulation with flowers. You know how the wind moves the flowers or the color of the flowers, the petal shape. Excuse me. Predictable routines is important. Planting schedules, checklists, same time a day for tasks, something they can look forward to. Offering quiet zones is sort of a part of this whole thing. Shaded areas for breaks, noise buffering options, task modeling, the step-by-step visuals or video examples. We should be able to dig deeper into these things as we go. Like I said, there's lots to talk about. I'm having, this was iced, hibiscus tea. And I've got my, I don't know, anti-omega whatever juice and some water. So tips for gardening success, breaking tasks into 1 to 2 steps and kind of being specific. And when you set up your space, you can be specific with how you do it. So water the red pot. Plant 3 seeds here. Also using tools with ergonomic handles and sensory friendly materials. If your kiddo or adult doesn't want to touch certain types of materials, know that and provide them with tools for success so they don't get overwhelmed. You know, maybe it needs to be non-metal. Maybe you need to have gloves. Incorporating music or headphones if helpful. I have a kid that would prefer to bring his headphones everywhere we go, doesn't always wear them. And I have a husband who wants to listen to music everywhere he goes. And celebrate all the wins. One seed planted is progress, okay? We're going to talk about how much time to allow for these lessons and gardening experiences as we present our topic tonight. Okay, South Florida Sunshine Tropicals. I am covering plants that mainly focus the prefrontal cortex, depression, and anti-anxiety for tomorrow. So if you are not subscribed to South Florida Sunshine Tropicals, go over there, hit subscribe, hit the bell because she is doing this live stream tomorrow, Friday, May 9th. So this is great, ties into this, but will probably overlap. Love hibiscus tea too. Okay, so we can also have activities that are involved with gardening when we're talking about like just getting them involved, having a lesson, of having ways to spend time with this topic. So activities are sensory bins with soil and seeds. This could be outside, it could be any size bin you have. Painting garden markers for plant ID. This can be as basic as like color coding, just painting rocks, and certain colored rocks are for different spaces, or it can be very in depth, very detailed. You can spend days on it. It's whatever level fits you. The bug hunts are fun with checklists, having the visual picture, putting the name to the bug, feeling, touching the bug, right? And then pollinator tracking, sitting and observing what are you seeing come into the space. There's all kinds of examples of story-based planting. I don't have the list here, but I've heard them as I've been a parent, and this one is the one I put in here. Let's grow Jack's beanstalk. This is funny to me because I actually bought Jack and the Beanstalk seeds, and I'm excited to plant them this year. And start with snack gardens, like garden treats. For me and my family would be shelling peas, planting a strawberry patch, having cherry tomatoes. Like what would kiddo or adult, what would the person you want to garden with want to eat? But we need to have a safety meeting, okay? If you've been around, you know safety meetings are super important. Use non-toxic plants, no foxglove, no oleander. We want success, okay? No poisoning, no bleeding heart bushes. Fences or clearly marked garden spaces. Keeping tools in a child-friendly caddy, child-friendly tools, keeping things that aren't child-friendly away. Establish clear stop zones and use visual cues. Supervise around bees or wildlife, but teach gentle interaction. You know, teaching them which ones will hurt you, how to keep your body calm, follow my voice, what questions do you have, right? Gloves and long sleeves for sensitive skin, understanding what time of day you should be doing this when we talk about having that repetitive schedule. When are they their best self, right? It's not always in the morning. Know your person. Soft surfaces, mulch, grass, rubber pavers, fenced or boarded areas to prevent wandering. I have an eloper. Um, it's important to have an eye on them at all times. Fencing would be perfect, but isn't always feasible places. And always watch for overheating or overstimulation, understanding that person's triggers, understanding what they do right before, an eloping happens, right before they bite, right before all that kind of things, yelling, throwing their self down. Usually you can see it coming if you spend a lot of time with the person. Providing cool down breaks, it's incorporated into the gardening experience. We can get into garden layout. We're going to talk about the zones. They have purpose, creating clear zones to reduce overwhelm and support focus, using pathways or borders or color cues as well. It doesn't have to be your whole backyard. It can be the red pot is this, the green pot is this, the blue pot is this. We're going to talk about different zones. Please have a break zone, even for you and your garden person. A quiet retreat with soft seating. Maybe it has fairy lights. Maybe there's a play tent. We need to have downtime in the garden space, right? The tool zone we mentioned, safe in the safety meeting, keeping it the organized labels, having things accessible for the height or age of who you're working with, of course. Let's see. Mushroom Mark says the music varies on mood, if anyone's wondering. And Mushroom Mark says you finally gave me an idea for a house painting. I'm glad I could help. I wish you could stay for the whole show because I feel like you would have more things to talk about, but you'll have to hit the replay and talk about it with me when we get a minute. So our calming zone can be a shady area with a bench or a hammock. I'm not a person that likes motion. I need to just sit. I don't want to move. Surrounding by soothing plants with maybe that's with feel or smell. So lavender, chamomile, lamb's ear can be in the calm zone. And then having the activity zone. So that would be your planting area, the raised beds, the little containers, where we water, where we harvest, that kind of thing. So we're going to break down the sensory zones. We all know our senses, right? Filled with tactical, visual, aromatic plants. Let's talk about examples. Mint, fuzzy lamb's ear, colorful calendula, the smelling thing. So let's see here. Let's whip out some pictures. Present, share. We're going to go through these as I talk, hopefully in a nice fashion. Now this is a visual. As you can see, these are shaped fun shapes here. That's cool. This is very distinct with borders, the path, the colors. I can see fuzzy things growing on the tree. Here is the lamb's ear we're talking about. So you can see how fuzzy that is and fun. For all ages. Black-eyed Susan is the flower, and a goldfinch is the bird. I don't remember what this is. I think it's called coral bell or something. It's just a fun, different leaf-looking thing to have in the garden. Teaching how to eat the garden. We talked about edible flowers in a previous live stream, and what you see here is nasturtiums. Check out that on the replay if you want to hear more about edible flowers that you can grow. It's important to be gardening friends with everyone. There's all kinds of things we can do together, and just knowing like what do they want to eat out of the garden and growing that. So here is C. This is a C. Look at what's in this bed type of a um, sensory setup. So soothing colors like greens, blues, or soft purples, contrasts for wayfinding, painted stones or color-coded beds can be neat for seeing. I think different heights and layers would be really good too. So touch can be soft things like lamb's ear, which we looked at, or moss, bumpy things like pine cones, seed pods, textures to explore like bark, sand, or smooth stones. This one is smell. You can see different plants that have that aromatic thing going on like we talked about here earlier. Smell lavender, lemon balm, thyme, mint, rosemary. And then of course the sound. It can be wind chimes, low gentle tones, depending on what the chime is made out of. It could be irritating, telling you that. Bamboo or rustling grasses, option for silent zones or ear defenders, having water like a solar water pumpy thing in a bird bath, or just a place where they can make noise, or even just like hearing the birds. Like if you have a bird watching area, I feel like that qualifies as the same thing too. And then taste. Here we have peppers and tomatoes. Looks like they have a squash or cucumber or something growing here in the back. Oh, we have a Radio Jonesy. My boomerang has came back. Good day, everyone, from the best place in the world. Just saying, Tasmania rocks. Mushroom Mark says, I'm kind of vested. Make sure I'm gone at 4:30. Do you have a truck to load? Carol says, still here putting Hannah's gifts together. Hope I can find them all. I discovered that I need to order more gifts because I don't have enough because I gave the family one of the gifts already because I couldn't wait because I'm not good at surprises. Carol says, my hubby is up at 5, so I get it. And it is so good to see bow tie life in the garden. In the survey, you missed my favorite thing in the garden, the harvest. That's what I want to say too, is eating the food. Okay, that is my favorite part, I think. We're talking about kangaroo jerky on a sidebar here. Jonesy says, yes, I'm sitting out the back now, listening to the birds. Yes, that is fantastic, having your nice spaces where you can do that. Okay, plant recommendations: edible, fun, and safe. Strawberries, peas, cherry tomatoes, lettuce, nasturtiums, the fast growing things, radishes, sunflowers, and beans. Interactive plants, snapdragons, and making them talk. Touch me nots. I think those are the ones where they like close or something when you touch them. Mint for rubbing. All of those are really cool. I want to talk about the bonus round, which is common gardening challenges and solutions, like eating dirt. But first, let's watch a short 2-minute video. And I have a situation, so I will be right back. Okay. Here is our video. It's about helping kids with autism learn earth to table gardening. I was waiting to see if I was going to have to pause. I think we're good. Let me get my thing clipped back. So, here we go.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you. How are we feeling today? Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling Black Girls with Green Thumbs has been running Green Thumbs in their school for the past 4 years in the Philadelphia school system. Many times when you ask a child where their food comes from, they'll say the supermarket. So we really want to change that and make sure that kids really connect to where their food is grown.
We're here at Emlyn Elementary School in Mount Airy. I'm in Sarah Nicholson's autistic support class. I'm here with Pamia Coleman and Latiana Tab. And they are interested in tackling climate change one seedling at a time.
So we really want to help the children prepare to be more self-sufficient in the future. So they're getting hands-on practice here with the Green Thumbs in their school program. They get to grow their own microgreens. They get to grow their own plantlings indoors that we transfer out into the garden in the warmer weather. So they really get that earth to table experience. So last month, the kids got a chance to set up their own mini greenhouses, in which today we're actually going to plant the seeds of. And today we have sunflower microgreens that were grown and started here in the classroom last month, and then we get to taste them.
Tell me about why it's important to do this with autistic kids.
A lot of times these kids get left behind, and I don't think that it's fair. I am a parent of an autistic child. Many of the things that you see that we do here in the classroom, we were doing these things at home, and I just saw how much he grew from practicing these things.
So what advice would you give other parents who are looking to cut their carbon footprint, but also pass those lessons on to their kids?
I think growing your own food is a big step to self-sustainability and to growing confidence in children. Once kids see that they're able to grow something and they're able to take it in the house and either eat a piece of it or make a smoothie, it really starts to stick in their brains that they are capable of caring for themselves in a different way. And I think it's a really important lesson.
So hopefully you got some ideas there. Mini greenhouses, microgreens, trimming them and eating them, right? Don't forget to check out the poll for those here in the live. Which part of the garden experience is your favorite or your loved one's favorite? We have planting seeds and seedlings, watering the garden, digging and playing in soil, relaxing, enjoying the space. And a lot of people are saying it's the harvest. That's I can only put 4. So thank you for sharing your answers with me. Um, let me look here for a second. Because there was a point I wanted to make, but it's coming up later, it looks like. Okay. Going back to this bonus part. We have KP Heathen, I saw. Who else? Crazy Life Homestead. I think Brandon. Yeah, Brandon's here. Okay. So if you're seeing your garden buddy eating soil, it's why does that happen? Well, it's sensory seeking, the taste, the texture, the temperature, curiosity, or doing an imitation of the planting actions. Sensory seeking behavior, right? Or pica, I think, is the deficiency. There's a mineral deficiency, might have been iron, where they eat dirt to get that nutrient. Solutions. Offer safe sensory alternatives. Make edible soil together. A cookie crumb and pudding mix. You want the gummy worms. Introducing safe garden play. Have a crunchy snack like carrots. Using the designated digging boxes with edible plants like baby carrots or radishes, and teaching soil is not food through story-based cues. Soil feeds the plants, not our tummy, right? It's all about being repetitive in whatever way that works for you and your gardening friend. Maybe you're seeing them pull out transplants. Why are they pulling out your plants that you just put in? They want to see what's under there. They have curiosity. It could be repetitive behavior or stimming. It's misunderstanding that it's part of the process, seeking the cause and effect. Well, what happens if I pull this? So, what are some solutions? Redirecting with a pulling zone, a pot, a bin, an area where they can pull and replant freely and it doesn't matter. Maybe it was some transplants you got for 10 cents because they were on their way out and you got them for this purpose. Everything in the pink container you can pull out and put back as many times as you want. I don't know if this would work with the fake plants, if they would get the same feeling. There's no root structure, there's no soil connected. It's when you have fake flowers, it's just, it's a completely different thing. I'm not sure that would work. Using fast growing plants like the radish for a quick gratification without high stakes. Using sturdy transplants and showing gentle planting techniques repetitively. Plants need time to grow. We can talk about with them. We have to give them sentences, right? Creating story cards or social stories. This is baby lettuce. Let's help it grow big, right? I see comments are coming in and I must go back to them because I'm sure something good is in here, which I saw. Here we go. Pika, they are eating paper and all kinds of strange things. They think it's a mineral based, but it can be sensory seeking too. Oral motor, sensory seeking. Yes. Um, I ran out of banners, Carol. I hit the max because I wanted to put a paragraph about it and I couldn't fit it in. So thank you for being here. Um, South Florida Sunshine Tropicals is going to hit on this topic as well tomorrow, talking about things to plant for the prefrontal cortex, I believe, and just personal experiences, I'm assuming. So check out her show tomorrow night, Friday the 9th. Be subscribed. Give them a job, says Mark. Bowtie says, a pulling zone, great plant would be mint. They can handle that abuse. Oh, Zombie Prepper, welcome in. Thanks for coming. Let them help. You're doing amazing. Says Carol. Are you talking to me? And then don't forget to check out Bowtie Life in the Garden. He's putting on a good show with costumes, is what Jay and Bowtie are talking about. Okay, maybe there's some sensory overload happening when we go to do our gardening. Meltdowns, refusal to garden. Why is this happening? It's the age-old gardening question of, well, it could be a lot of things, right? When you go, why is this happening? It could be a lot of things. Too hot, too loud, too bright, overwhelming textures. The soil is wet. There's too many bugs today. The plant was sticky. It could have been any of these things, right? What are the solutions? Garden during calm times of the day. Know your person's best self. Early morning, late afternoon, providing the shaded cool down zone. Remember when we talked about zones? With sensory items. Knowing what helps them with their triggers. Is it the hammock? Is it a weighted lap pad? Do they need a squish ball? Do you need to just bring your calm down bin with you out and have it just in case, with their headphones, with a glitter tube? Um, being prepared for when that happens, right? Offer gloves that fit them correctly, that don't have the weird flappy air gap finger thing going on. We also don't like when things are too tight where the texture and the material is wrong. So you got to get all that right. Long sleeves, sunglasses, hats, noise canceling headphones. Let the child choose one sensory task per session. Maybe today they want to water. Okay, do you want to water with the squirt bottle or the watering can? They might want to do the squirt bottle that day. Maybe they just want to go touch the mint. Okay, how many leaves can we pick off of the mint today? Let's make a pile, right? And respect here, right here, respect refusal. Participation should be offered but not forced. It is okay if they don't want to do it that day, right? What if we're seeing a lack of interest or focus? Why is this happening? Tasks feel too long or abstract. Not enough visual cues or rewards. There's a disconnection between action and outcome. So we need to take it back a step, right? You're climbing a ladder and you miss a ring. They're not seeming like the things you're telling them to do or showing them to do is working. Bring it back. Simple it. So, solutions: use visual schedules or step by step cards with images. Turn tasks into games. Let's race to find three weeds or let's plant the rainbow. I have a lot of different links in the description. It's going to show a lot of word stuff because, like I said, I couldn't find a lot of pictures. Looking at one of my links to pull up, it has the link to the video I showed. Um, there was a free printable I wanted to look at with you guys, but I'm not sure how easy it is to get to it. You know how sometimes you got to do 8 things to get the stinking thing, the free printable? Yeah, it's going to ask me to do a bunch of stuff, which I haven't done and prepared. So I marked it in the description as um, gardening visual schedule. So it's supposed to be like cards to lay out going to the garden as the schedule. And if you're familiar with Teachers Pay Teachers, they could have something for you there. Um, I can't pull up the example because I don't have it prepared and I am very sorry. Going back to the comments. Carol says, mine is more mood brain based, girl. I knew you'd be so good with this topic. Thank you. Brandon says, that feeling when you pick your first tomato of the year. Oh, yeah. Yes, that is that rush of endorphins, of dopamine. It's the reward center getting tinged. We are getting addicted immediately to that moment. That's why we keep gardening, right? And it just gets better as we go. Not enough worms. Bowtie picked a massive strawberry out of the garden today. Mine are flowering at the moment. Four of them are flowering, like not the whole patch. Brandon would like to look into strawberries. Bowtie says another benefit of the mint is that when they eat it, there is a calming effect. Fantastic, as long as you're not allergic. Brandon says, Shawnee, you have great information for special needs people. Keep going. Well, thank you. It was recommended that we talk about this, so I dug up the information. Mushroom Mark says, I seen leaves on the strawberries. Can't wait for some fruit. Yeah, they're flowering. Richard, welcome to the conversation. We are talking about setting up a sensory garden, autism, ADHD, depression, a friendly garden design for all of your people that you know, young and old. Things that might be happening. Jay, enough worms? Has enough worms? We are currently talking about our bonus round of challenges that happen, and we're talking about solutions. So we're talking about lack of interest or focus, and I'm going to keep going with that. So using reward charts or token systems, know your person. If you know that this doesn't work, don't even try it. But examples of people that like this kind of thing. 5 garden stars equals we get to pick a tomato. Focus on one simple task per session with a clear beginning and end. Allow free play with the soil, having those bins that we talked about. Water, giving them a squirt bottle that's like a misty thing. It's not going to hurt anything, right? And then garden toys nearby. Here's the key: keep garden time short and consistent. This is like a 15 to 20 minute max, depending on your person. It could be a 5-minute thing. Using clear and repeated routines. So if you need to have cards that say, like, water is green today, eat soil is a red, no, right? Or you have to put like a seed picture or a transplant picture if that works for your person. Giving them those sentences we talked about earlier. Just keep repeating that stuff. Have it wrote down if you can't remember it. You'll remember it after a while, right? Having a safe space or the transition activity. This is important too when done. So they understand it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to do my garden task. I get to go to this red pot and I get to do this watering. And then when I'm done, I get to go to the quiet hammock and I'm going to have Maybe you'll make the dirt snack, right? Or there's a tent that they know they can go to. So, what if you're dealing with a nonverbal person? Well, we have supports we can use, right? Step by step picture cards showing the images of each thing. It could be putting the gloves on, scooping the soil, planting the seed, watering. Having cards that talk about feelings help. Are we happy gardening today? Are we feeling mad? You know, incorporating feelings with it too. Also having choice boards. So letting them control once they've learned all the skills, like there's this introducing the language, introducing visually what it all means, and then teaching them each task, and then they get a choice. Do you want to water or plant? Using photos, using symbols, using whatever devices you use already. So it could be a speech tablet or an app or the thing. There was another tool, but I ran out of banners. I don't know what it was called. But adding the gardening vocabulary, plant, help, stop, again, good job, to the tool thing that you use. If they touch a button and it speaks for them, for example, those things, having that set up so when we go do this, it's ready to go. And sign language was a key thing for us in my household, teaching basic garden signs. So, water, you take 3 fingers like this and you go to your chin. This is water. Okay. Grow. This is grow. So, I'm taking my hand like a C and I have my hand like that, right? And you go grow. Help is where you have a flat hand and your thumb is up. You go help. This is help. And then finished. All done. It's the same thing. Finished. We use this a lot as raising children. Water and finished was very popular. Help, it was mostly me asking them and they would say yes or no. And if you want to do a different kind of transition than we mentioned, maybe it's putting a gardening app game on their device if that's a tool you use. I don't know anything about these ones, but I tried to say, give me something that's free and that's simple and basic. You're going to have to do your own judgment and research on if these are actually legitly things that, you know what I'm saying right now. So, Happy Little Farmer, Grow Garden, Kids Garden Learning Games is what popped up in the search. If you have a suggestion, please put it in the comment section below so we can check it out and help people. Also, I want to say if you feel like you cannot do this at all where you are, that's okay. You should be able to research sensory gardens near you. Maybe it isn't called a sensory garden. Maybe it's a free nature reserve that has a like a resurrection. What is it? Not I don't think that's the word. Restitution it's a zoo that rehabilitates, is that the word? Takes in animals that got hurt and they live there. And they might have a place where it's got somewhere to make sound, somewhere to touch stuff, a path, a pond, bird watching, toys, you know. Do some research and see what's in your area. Maybe there's a children's garden already built somewhere that you can go to. Back to the comments. Anyone who is allergic to mint needs to get back to their ship and fly back to their home planet, says Bowtie. Welcome in, Richard. Jay, I'm feeling so interesting today. Mushroom Mark says focus on their interest. Like if it's bugs, their gardening time is going to be filled with bug situations then, right? And Bowtie is now craving mint. Brandon says, Shawnee and friends have a blessed night. I have to go make my mom dinner. I am a caretaker. Thanks. God bless. See you, Brandon. Carol says, oh gosh, I hate transitions. Thanks to my transition hater. Jay Dixon says, what do you call a mint superhero? Menthol man. Jay says, how does mint tea relax? It takes some me time. Bowtie says, question, who's the freshest superhero in the herb garden? Answer, the amazing mint man. He fights pests, cools tempers, and always leaves a fresh impression. Carol says, awesome. Help. Milk. Yeah. Finnish, yeah, was big. Love that incorporation. And I'll be like, um, signing to them now, and they're just obviously they talk. I have children that are verbal. I guess I shouldn't say obviously. I have children that are verbal, and I think they've lost what they knew as sign language. So I remember it though, right? God's desire for me. Welcome to our conversation. Jay says Shawnee Grows helps lift vertically a bit. Jay studied sign language for years and worked in deaf communities. Oh, I do. I don't remember as much as I used to. I helped a deaf person work as their work job coach kind of a situation, and they lived in a group home, and I managed stuff at people's work. Um, Rehabilitation, I believe, is the word we're looking for. I wish I knew more, Jay Dixon. I wish I really knew more of the sign language, but I don't have the opportunity to use it every day. So I forget it. And I'm not quick to be able to receive it. Like I could talk, but then to receive it, I'm like, whoa, I can't do that very quickly. Carol says, I carry a roller ball of peppermint with me all the time due to my own sensory issues and pain. And it's also food grade. The mint tea is beautiful, says Jay. Carol says, mint just does not do great here for long. Favorite of mine. I get Cuban oregano here. Meh. Carol says, it's good. Hey, lady, good to see you. God's desire for me. Bowtie says, question, why is Shawnee everyone's go-to for gardening tips with sensory challenged kids? Answer, because she doesn't just grow plants, she grows experiences, turning every leaf, texture, and scent into a learning adventure. And God's desire for me says, hey, Carol. So I have a book called Carrots Love Tomatoes. Oh boy. Okay, so it has different ideas in it, like garden plans. So, for example, a kitchen herb garden. Okay. Roof gardening, postage stamp garden. The weekend gardener. Are you planting cool season or warm season? I'll give you the list, right? It also has the able disabled gardener's garden, mini gardens, the tiniest garden of all, the spirit garden, um, window herb box. So, what I want to say is the child's garden. And this is going to be really hard to show you. But if you can see a path, like a drag strip for riding toys. You can see a playhouse or a storage area, the shade tree, a sandbox, a maple tree, a swing set, a water featured thing. And it talks about having a garden space, a climbing tree, irises and daylilies, stuff like that. So plant trees and shrubs that do not bear unwanted fruit, like we had in our safety meeting. Okay. Plant grass that can take it, such as bluegrass, fescue, or Bermuda. Doing the drag strip with asphalt or concrete for the riding toys. Chain link fence for clear visibility. Floodlights mounted to adjacent buildings or trees on a high pole can add hours, excuse me, of evening playtime. And, oh, again, sorry. Buy started plants for the kids' garden. Varieties that are quick and easy to grow. It says squash is their answer for that. My big thing is like letting them choose. What do you want to grow? Let's try it, And not giving them a bunch of rules like, well, you can't plant that there. Like, let's just try it, right? Okay. Any questions? Carol says, yes, and she indeed does. I have the nonverbal kid who would rather unplant everything and roll the dirt. Offer that with a timer. When the salt sand gets to the bottom of the timer, we are done with this. And we go to our insert transition here. Mushroom Mark, my neighbor was a few years younger and is deaf, and we became great friends, and it was amazing to talk to our children before they were verbal. Yep. Carol says, yes, I agree. I need to reincorporate more, I think. My son, once in a while, will still use the milk sign. Um, Home. Oh, I just touched the mic. I'll do it over here. Home helped me at parties with my husband because I would just look at him across the room and like, I want to go home. Remember that, Mark? You want watermelons? I do too. The tractor's fixed, I heard. We can tear up some land and plant some watermelon. Jay Dixon, letting the kids roll in the garden equals squash. Richard, we used a form of sign language in the mining industry. It's a high noise environment. Works in the garden too. And I'm a bit hard of hearing. Works over long distance too. If you can see each other. That's right. That's right. I mean, I've been sick or like my throat hurt, or maybe you were across the room, Mark, and I'm like, water. Bring me some water. Bowtie says, no angel's trumpet in a children's garden. It causes paranoia, sickness, and death. I have to protect mine a bit. It makes me nervous at times. Probably not a permanent thing in my garden. Yeah, like bleeding heart as well. Yes, the home sign. Yes. Bowtie says, I do that with Mrs. Bowtie when I'm ready to go home from an event. Yep, that's right. Well, let's see. I went through all my banners and I filled it, and I could talk for 15 more minutes for sure, I think, maybe, if you guys say stuff. I hope I helped you figure out the autism-friendly ADHD to treat depression garden setup with all kinds of ages of people. I wish I had more images. If you missed out on the images, check the replay. Um, my biggest message is like, this isn't for you, right? Like, this isn't your gardening time. This isn't so you could get gardening done. No. This is an opportunity to create and spark and plant a seed in someone that this works good for your body, for your mind, for your spirit, for your health, all of it. Getting them the vocabulary, giving them a space, giving them a job, and it's going to go bad. Hopefully, we gave you good solutions for when it goes bad. These are short time periods, and you can expand as you grow. We all learn as we grow with this. I have saw the growth with my kids where one year they're tearing out plants. Next year they're waiting to see when we can do something with the plant. And then the year after that, they're like, what are we going to plant? Right? It's a very long journey, having that routine, keeping consistency, understanding. DCB says stuff. Bowtie says stuff. Carol says, yes, we covered that about Angel Trumpet on my channel too. Toxic plants not to plant in the garden was the live stream topic over at South Florida Sunshine Tropicals. Check it out on the replay for the list. Always good stuff, says Crazy Life Homestead. I don't know what becomes the daily, but okay. Something I said. Jay says, I am signing in the comments. Singing? Signing. It was signing. Okay. I love you too, my love. Go to bed. You're supposed to be sleeping like 2 hours ago. Summertime we're coming up on, and it's hard to go to bed at a decent time when there's life happening outside. Yeah, I think you should come to Carol's show tomorrow. DCBs, isn't tactile experiences important, Carol? I thought I saw something about that. Carol says, dirt in the hair and everywhere, kind of bad. Yes, indeed. Oh, man. The sand and the chalk have been our two problems this week. Because it's park season. Hi, Serena. Carol says, yes, but when they have no cause and effect, they think we do that every time we are in the garden. DCBs, it also depends on intelligence, too. DCBs, it's only 8 p.m. where you are. Oh, you must go to sleep now, Bowtie. Eyes watering, lids drooping, body sinking into my recliner. Yes, Serena, I'm all done. I said all the fun things about a sensory garden or gardening with autism, ADHD, helping your depression. We looked at pictures, we looked at videos. It's in the description. Um, there's a poll. Okay, where's that? End poll. 50% relaxing and enjoying the space is their favorite part. And then there's all those harvester lovers out there too. So last time I just did this so I could keep it in because the replay doesn't see this part. Okay, so here's the question we asked. Which part of the garden experience is your favorite? And here's what the audience said. Carol says, hashtag replay crew. If you are just coming in, it was a great live. I'm just going to watch the replay when captions are available. That would be good. Somebody said hit the thumbs up. Do that. Do what they said. Where's my replay post thing? Which part of the garden do you or your loved ones enjoy the most? Is it digging? Is it planting? Is it watering? Is it just sitting and relaxing? I'd love to hear your experiences. Also, in the replay, if you've made it till the end of the show, thank you. Please tell me what stood out to you. What did you learn? What was something new? Did I inspire you in any way? I hope I gave you some tools. Here we go. Crazy Life said it. Hit the thumbs up, please. Mrs. Bowtie will know what happened when I'm dragging at 5:15 when the alarm goes off. Jay says cedar/planter. Radio Jonesy says, because if you made it this far along, you are part of the closing crew. That is right. I learned that over at Radio Jonesy. The closing crew term. That was really fun. Carol says, my hubby already came in here and gave me the look. Oh, really? Carol. Oh, really? Bowtie, okay, I'm drifting. Good to see you, Serena. I bring kids into my garden. DCB says, always glad to see you, Carol. You are always in my prayers. Jesus and I talk a lot, so. Serena, I didn't even get to sleep until a little after 6 this morning. I got to bed at 5. That's right, light's about to go up. Oh, I do blame you all. We are doing pretty good on hours, so keep watching the content. Future conversations. We might, let's see if I can give you a spoiler alert here. I don't have the furry critters conversation prepped whatsoever. But we could get into the dawn of gardening from foraging to farming when it comes to the history. So, the Neolithic Revolution is what we're going to talk about and what that meant for humans and gardening. If I get time to do a show again, maybe that'll be the one. So if that interests you, please subscribe to be notified when I go live for that conversation. Because the history is going to be a multiple part series where we travel through all of the ways of gardening being a survival into luxury, right? Which was very helpful from Bowtie. We talked about that in our brainstorming live stream of research topics, ideas. Inkwell Odyssey, hello everyone from South Africa. Hey, we're all done with our show. We're going to wrap it up in like 6 minutes for sure. Please hit the replay to get all of the ideas for a sensory garden, the plants, the zones, the safety meeting, challenges and solutions for you all. Good to see you here. Jay says, we are the bad peer influences that you were warned about. Um, Carol says, Shawnee at 617. Tell your friends about her channel. Let's keep her subs growing too. That would be great. Gardening with Chonkers. Hello. We're at the end of our show. Maybe back to survival gardening again. Yes, welcome all the new people. Carol says, welcome in. Inkwell Odyssey catching the closing, but plenty of replay material that is amazing on Shawnee Grows. Yes, check out our past live streams. Serena, you put your plants outside, you bring your plants inside, in, out, in, out, in, out, and plant them all about. You do the hokey pokey as you plant your plants about. That's what it's all about. I am doing that with my peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers. They come in at night and they go out during the day. It is 54 right now, supposedly, and our future forecast is like 85, 89, which is not okay. It's not normal for me. I'm not happy about it, and I'm melting. Send help, okay? DCB says, have a great night, everyone. I am sorry, Gardening with Chunkers. You came in at the end. You have to catch the replay to see the videos and the images and the conversations. You're going to be doing that with your tomatoes tomorrow? Yes. Yeah, it's 100 seedlings is what I'm moving in and out right now. Well, there's actually more because there's a whole nother tray that I put together that doesn't fit in the grow station. And if you want to know what seedlings I have, I did a live stream that was talking about I ran out of room for my seedlings, and there's a short video or a short thing about it. But the specific varieties of what I'm growing is in that live stream, so you can check that on the replay. Richard says to Inkwell, hello from Piketberg, South Africa. You have a blessed day, says Bowtie. Radio Jonesy in Tasmania says we are at the 50s at 1:20 p.m. Friday here. Carol says, okay, I'm going to settle myself down for bed. Much love, lady. This was so good. Let's get Carol's channel link in the chat so we can go over there tomorrow night and have a conversation related to this topic. How do I do that? This button, go to channel. Oy vey. This one. Copy. There it is. Okay. Bowtie says, hey again to Radio Jonesy. They will not let me leave. I'm so tired. Much love and blessings to you all tomorrow night. South Florida Sunshine Tropicals. The link is in the chat. Click it. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell. When the live stream is created, you can go in there and hit notify me or just come in when it goes live. Serena says, where do rainbows go if they commit a crime and are caught? Prison. I like that one. Jay says, I salvaged some rosemary for cuttings. They are in a dome for 3 Celsius night. Yes, see you tomorrow. Radio says, you are a good supporter, Bowtie, and this boomerang girl needs the watch hours. Good night. I will see you all around. As I always say, I don't have the banner because I filled it, the limit. I always say grow every day in every way. Okay, everybody? I'll see ya.